Hi everyone, I'm Tony Ray, and I wanted to make a video to show you how to do a keyhole pad. Now, I've already traced and cut the fabric out, but I will still show you step by step. What you're going to do is you're going to get your hole pattern. This is the Curvy Classic from the Happy Hippos. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to find the topper fabric that you want to use. I'm using this for my topper. This is what's going to be shown. You'll see later on what I mean by, the topper, as in it's not going to have the core piece. It's just going to show along the outside. So what you're going to do is you're going to trace your whole pattern onto your topper fabric with a washable marker. And if you notice here, I've already done that. I've already traced the core and the pattern itself onto it. And then I cut around that. And then you're going to get a piece of flannel. And you're going to, it doesn't matter what kind of flannel you use, it's going to be hidden mostly anyway. You're going to get your flannel. You're going to lay this on top of the flannel. And you are going to cut around it so it fits on there like you would a backing. Nothing special. You're going to end up cutting it and using it anyway in another way. So after you're done with this, you're going to push it to the side, and then you're going to get your core. This will be the core fabric, the absorbency in the inside. You don't have to trace both. I did because I was cutting them separately. You really only need to cut out the topper fabric, like trace and cut this out, lay it on top of your absorbent fabric, and then cut around that. But I did it this way. And what we're going to do is, after we've already cut that, we're going to push that to the side. We're going to go take this to the sewing machine, and we are going to sew along the inside of the core. You can go a little bit in the inside of the line. It helps. So you do have room for your core fabric, and it's not gonna, make it too wide and uneven. I will be right back and bring it back when I'm done. Alright, I'm back. I just got done sewing around the core line, trimming the little piece of thread off. Here's what it's going to look like. I only sewed on the inside, so this is what you get. And what you're going to do next is you're going to take your scissors or your pinkering shears, and you're going to cut it as close as you can to the thread and work your way around. And please, whatever you do, try not to cut the thread off or go through it or anything, as it will be kind of a pain to fix. I've done it before. It wasn't the easiest. I actually was able to finish it and kept it for myself. It's the same thing later on, that you don't want to accidentally cut the flannel either as you're trimming, but I'll show you that later. Just working our way around. Not exactly a hard thing to do, but it's time consuming. It's almost as easy as doing an exposed core pad, which there are multiple different ways you can do that as well. Everyone has their own preference on how they do everything. Definitely though, if you're using pole, you know, make sure you don't go through the backing. But we are not working on that yet. That will be the next video on the different ways of making exposed cores. But right now we are working on what you call a keyhole pad. Alright, so now that you've cut the inside out, you just take your extra fabric and throw it away or put it to the side. You're going to take this fabric, you're going to try and flip it and make sure that you do have a good iron and have that heat up, and you're going to end up pressing this quite a bit because it does not like to sit right. You'll see it's very awkward. It's very awkward to do, but it's getting there. I'm gonna probably pause this and go and iron it to keep its shape, and then we will move on to the next step, and that is attaching the core to the pad itself. If you notice, it's coming along, but this is why you definitely need your iron. Alright, I will be right back again. Alright, so I'm back from flipping and ironing, and it's going to look like this. It's better to have a lot of extra just in case. You don't want to cut it too close to the line because sometimes they like to shift and not everything sits the right way as it was when you first started. You know, definitely when you're sewing and folding, your fabric's going to shrink a little. So it's good to have a little extra. I'm cutting it close with what I'm doing. This was actually a request from a good friend of mine. She wanted a picnic peanut butter and jelly pad, obviously in keyhole style. So what you're going to do next is you're going to flip it to the back. You're going to get your washable glue. I like using the washable glue better than really anything. I've tried a lot of different things. I just like the fact that you can use this a lot easier and maneuver where specifically it's going to go. It's always been my go-to. Alright. This is just going to make it to where it's going to hold the core in place. I put it along the rim on the edge. And then you're going to take your core right here. You're going to place it on the pad and adjust it. Make sure that everything's going to sit right. That's why I say always leave a little extra, because you never know where it's going to shift or what image is going to be on the other side. Now, give it a good press. Pressing definitely helps. I'm going to show you guys first. So here's what it would look like. I like where it's at. I had a good idea of whereabouts it's supposed to be. Then you're going to flip it over. You're going to give it a little press again. And then you're going to take it to the sewing machine. And some people zigzag stitch. Some people do all different kinds of stitches along the side. I just do a straight stitch and stitch along the edge right here, so you are sewing your core down to your topper. I'm going to go do that real fast, and we will go to the next step. I am back again. So I wanted to show you, this is after sewing on the core on the back side. If you notice, it's not going to line up to anything, so you don't focus on the lines on the back of this. You focus on making sure that everything is covering this hole, and you sew with it facing up right along the edge. Don't go in, don't go too far out, just stick right on the edge here. So what you're going to do is after you're done, you're going to flip it over and you are going to trim up all the excess fabric that is hanging around here. Get as close to the thread as you can without hitting the thread. You want to get rid of all the bulk, basically. You don't need all this bulkiness. And please, like I did on my accident mistake making one of these for the first time, try not to cut your flannel, or try not to cut the flannel in the topper like I did. Like I said, I made one and I accidentally did that and kept it for myself because it still works. It's just, you know, not as pretty. And I had to use fabric glue to glue the parts together. It's really not that bad. It's just got that rubbery feeling on the side of it. I never felt it. I did try it out when I had my period this month, and it worked great. Honestly, I love keyhole pads. It definitely keeps everything in the center towards your, you know, towards your core. So it's definitely one of my favorites now. My other favorite was the exposed core, but everyone has their favorites and their least favorites. Trying to get around this, like I said, without cutting the flannel. Okay. Brush all this off. Show you. So this is what it's going to look like now that you've trimmed it all up. Got rid of all the excess. You're going to take your pad pattern. You're going to take the whole one. You're going to measure it up. Make sure everything still fits. I'm going to make my adjustments here a little bit, as the topper fabric, I'm just barely enough able to do coverage on it for her. This was my little scrap piece of fabric left, and she really wanted this one. So it's going to take a little maneuvering for me, but I'm going to get it done for her. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and you're going to trace it. Trace the pattern on the back of the flannel, not on the front. Make sure everything's, the top fabric, the flannel, and everything's equaling out. It's going to be a cut close for me. So, okay. Now you're going to take it, trace it, make sure to not forget to leave your turn hole. It's definitely a big thing, because then it won't be quite fun trying to turn this out without one. But okay. Alright, I'm going to put my turn hole down here, make my lines, okay, and it's going to look like this. So what you're going to do next is you're going to take your backer fabric, which in this case I'm going to be using soft shell, and you're going to create your pad like you normally would with any, normal pad. Going to lay it down, lay the top part down on your backer. Make sure you got enough. Then you're going to cut. Okay. And now you are going to go take this to your sewing machine and you're going to sew the top to your back. Make sure you use your turn holes, and we'll be right back, and then we're going to flip it right side out, iron it, and reveal the truth. Alright, I'm back again. So I have sewn on the line, went around, attached my backer to my front. Now I'm going to cut around it, and once again, try not to get your thread. This is my favorite part. I love cutting all this and turning it right side out and seeing the big project that you've been working on. I tried making this a shorter video. I mean, it's still a lot shorter than some. I don't know how to do the whole fast forward thing, so bear with me here as I do everything so slowly. I'd rather do it slow and not mess up than try to make it quick. Snip a little bit of the corners here where my little turn hole tab is, so they fold in very nicely. You can also snip the little edges here to make it to where there's, it won't bunch up, which I'll do a couple here. I'll do like 3 or 4 on each side. No one likes the bunching up in the corners, because once you get your pad put in there, you don't want to, reverse it and have to put it back in and then snip your corners again. And yeah, it's no fun. No fun at all. Okay, so here's how it looks right now. You're going to take it, you're going to stick your finger between the topper fabric and your backing fabric. Go to the far end of the pad. I find this to be a lot easier. Some people do the wings first, some people try to do what's closest to them. I find it easier to take it to the farthest, put your finger in, guide it with your other finger that's inside the hole, and you're going to take it, if I can do it, and there's the topper fabric, and there's my finger. You're going to pinch it, put your finger out, and then you're going to slowly and carefully, just hope you don't, rip like some people do, like I have, and just pull, and then you're going to work around it. Try not to rip those stitches. The big downfall. one thing that I like about working with cotton lycra and soft shell and everything is it's squishy, it stretches. But when it's all bunched up, it's a lot easier to maneuver and stretch and pull, and thread not so much. So you don't want to tear that by all means. Alright. This has always been the hardest part for me because I've got lots of issues with my hands. Carpal tunnel, all that hunky-dory stuff, so it's easier to try to grab from the inside and pull. If you can get a good grip on it, it's gonna pull. If you saw that, it pulled right in. Now, of course, I forgot my little poker tool, but that's okay. You're gonna take the flabs that are right here. You're gonna tuck those in nicely. And you'll see when I'm done that it's hidden already. Now, because I don't have my little tool with me and I'm using my hands, I'm gonna work my way around the pad instead of making it a lot quicker, but that's okay. Alright. So now that you have it turned all the way out, here's your little keyhole pad. You're going to go over to your iron, give it a good iron, which I'll do right now real fast, since it's right here next to me. And you're going to give it a good press, make sure it's nice and flat, so when you go to top stitch, everything will come out perfect, great. This turned out very cute. I love this fabric. I love it, it's so cute. Now, here's your pad. What you're going to do now is you're going to top stitch all the way around the pad. You're going to add your snaps and call it a day. And there is your keyhole pad. I'm not going to worry about doing that, top stitching and coming back, because we all know how it's going to turn out to look, but it is very super cute, and I really hope this video helps you. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment, or you can join my group, my Facebook group. I'm going to add that link to the comments, and please feel free to send me a message, comment on my page, anything you need, just let me know, and I hope to see you guys later. Bye.